Hi, guys. Welcome to Meat is Where It's At and our date night.
It's about time. First time in 2 weeks.
I see Tiffany is here. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Yes, it's been a little bit of time since we've been on here, but we are so excited to chum with you guys. This is something we really, really look forward to. Hi, Pinky Jojo. Love your name. Oh, thank you for staying awake to join us. It's okay if you fall asleep. Like, we will not judge you. We've had such a long day.
Yes, we have.
Our life has been a little crazy. I'm sure we'll get to share more details soon, but it's just been kind of nuts. Tiffany said, good. Hope you guys are well. We are doing well.
I think we are.
Yeah, we are just coasting along pretty much. I've had some struggles on the lion diet, but as I post those updates, I'm sure you guys will get an idea of what those are. I don't want to give them away necessarily because it's definitely a journey, and those updates, I feel like you guys look forward to those. Hi, Pam. How are you? Thanks for being here. We are so excited to see you all. Let us know how your New Year's resolutions are going. If you're doing Carnivore Month, which is January, World Carnivore Month, how is that going for you? We'd love to know because it's been interesting for us.
Yeah, and just share, your comments, your stories. How's January going for you? Are you, like Hayley said, are you meeting all your goals? Are you, having a hard time with something that you set? Maybe like me, where I maybe set something a little bit too optimistic, and I'm starting to figure that out 19 days into January. But it happens.
It's worth, me too. I mean, it's worth the go, right? We all got to try and do our best. But yeah, if you're struggling with something, especially, please feel free to be honest here. We have a zero judgment zone, and our community is very supportive and kind when it comes to struggles, especially. We've noticed that in some of there are support groups on Facebook, but we find that, how would you describe some of those experiences in there?
I understand if you join a Facebook for carnivore, you're going to find most people that are doing their absolute best to stick to it as best they can, as strict as they can. So when you have those individuals that post things that maybe aren't 100% carnivore, it's
well, they'll mention things like, look at my ribeye and I seasoned it with this seasoning. And then people will get really
up in
almost
arms,
like personally offended by the fact that that person used a certain kind of spice. And so this is not that place. This is not that kind of environment. So if there's anything that you guys want to share or need support with, then we're happy to answer those questions. Let's see. Pam, Facebook is terrible. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I could too.
I just don't. Yeah, I think if you don't have anything supportive or kind to say, I mean, maybe it took that person a long time to actually try carnivore, and maybe they're doing their best and need that seasoning to kind of help them get used to just eating meat. So,
I mean, out of our own experience, we used some seasonings at the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to make it so they didn't have sugar in them, but
some people don't, there's all these layers to health in general, and different diets, and even our ancestral diet. There's so many layers, and it's first cut out the processed carbs like bread and pasta, and then vegetables, cut out vegetables after that, and then look into your spices. There's so many levels, and you don't know what level that person is at personally in their own journey. And so it's so hard when people pass judgment on them. And same with me, I'm still learning. I'm still experiencing things and learning what bothers my body and what doesn't bother my body. And, we can't really pass judgment on people when we don't know their story. So,
well, we all start on different rungs of the ladder and come from different backgrounds. And I mean, at least, and that was a specific post that Hayley referenced, was a post that I found in one of the Facebook groups. And it's like, at least he's there and he's doing his absolute best. And you got to make it work for you at the end of the day. And honestly, if spices don't bother you,
Then use spices.
then use spices. But
live your life, have fun.
If they do, then you got to find something else out.
Yeah. So Tiffany had a comment here. I'm mostly ketovore right now because we are celebrating a belated Christmas with my family on January 26th, where the meal will be lasagna and garlic toast. So I didn't want to go full carnivore until after that. There is a great example of someone who's trying to enjoy their life and experience life with their family. And I have no judgment for you. You should partake of that if that's what you feel like you want to do.
Hey, if garlic toast was on the menu, I would.
We love. Okay, garlic and onions are some of my favorite flavors, although I think that garlic bothers my stomach. I don't think onions do, but I need to reintroduce them to really know. But like I said, Tiffany, I'm happy for you. That's awesome that you're going to get to spend a Christmas with your family, even if it's a belated Christmas. Like, that's amazing. And I hope that it's delicious. Report back.
Well, and I think, Hayley made a video on this not too long ago about perfectionism inside of this community. And it's not only limited to this community. We were part of the plant-based community for a while.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
And it plagues that community too. But, I think we kind of get into this mindset. It's like, well, I'm carnivore. If I eat lasagna and garlic toast, I'm literally going to die. I'm not going to make it out on the other side. And it's like, it's not true. Eat your lasagna, eat your garlic toast, and then just get back to it. And that's all there is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then she said, so starting full carnivore, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. If you're new to the carnivore community, B, and E means beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Yep.
And so she's going to start on February 1st, and we are cheering for you, Tiffany. That's amazing. And I hope that you keep checking in with us, because I would love to see how it's going, what your weight is doing, how you're feeling in general, because that's always so exciting for us when someone is just starting out, and we're just so excited for you. Anna. Hi, Anna. So good to see you.
Always showing up.
Anna is always here. She's one of our regulars, and we love her. She's awesome. I'm here too. Agreed. I didn't want to miss on that peppermint pie. Then it's bye-bye carbs. That's right.
Well, you only mentioned
Enjoy it.
Lasagna and garlic toast. You didn't mention pie, so you can't have the pie.
You and your judgment.
I know.
I'm just kidding. He's joking.
That does sound
totally
good.
Joking. Peppermint pie sounds amazing. Yay. You're welcome. Tiffany's so sweet. Cindy, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Hello, you too. Glad you are feeling better. Yes. Okay. What happened? That was on Friday.
It was a crazy week last week.
It was crazy, but I remember because I was vlogging that week for the Lion Diet, and I decided to get some double quarter pounder with cheese, not with cheese, double quarter pounder patties from McDonald's, because we had to be out of our house for a certain amount of time. And so we were doing that, and we didn't have anything to eat. So I was like, gosh, I'm really hungry. So we went and picked it up, and I had that. And then I had a sugar-free coffee from our local coffee shop. And I did not feel good after that. That coffee's never done that to me before. So I don't think it was the coffee. I think there was something literally in the burger patties. They must have been too old or handled improperly. But I was sick all day. We got home at 2:00, and I just laid on the couch all day. And I was like, I'm sorry, you guys. I can hardly speak without being nauseous. So we had to skip our live, and I feel so bad because we love it. But man, that was rough. That was really rough. Tiffany was laughing at you.
Oh, my joke. I'm glad someone was.
He's trying to give you a hard time, but let's see. I love being carnivore, but today I got a stomach virus. Normally, I would be so ill, suffering for 7 days, and this thing is almost done within 18 hours. Incredible, regardless, not being 100% back yet. Oh my goodness. That's so exciting. We find, knock on wood, we find that we don't get sicknesses as easily, and our kids don't either. They are ketovore, I would say, very meat heavy, egg heavy type thing, and they're also homeschooled, so they aren't exposed maybe to as many sicknesses either, but we just don't get them.
We actually thought a sickness was coming into our house with our youngest.
We did, and no one else got it, which is pretty rare.
And she only really struggled with symptoms for a day, maybe a day and a half
But
before it passed her over.
It was funny because she would sound sick, like sniffling and stuff. And then she would play hardcore all day. Like she wasn't sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'd hear the sniffles again the next day. I'm like, oh man, she's still sick. But it's impossible to keep a 2-year-old on the couch and relaxing and everything. So
yeah.
The carnivore diet is saving my life. I'm fully aware of that while suffering. Can't wait to be myself again. So nice to see you. So nice to see you, Anna. Thank you so much for being here. And we've heard, so many of those stories. If you're new to the carnivore diet and the carnivore idea, I know it can be a little bit shocking if you're watching this and thinking no, there's no way that could be healthy. Anna's a great example of someone who's healed themselves and feels really good on the carnivore diet. And so are we, our experiences and everyone, all of our community as well. We've got some people hopping on here. Hi, Susan. So good to see you. We're so happy that you're here. How is your New Year's resolution, carnivore month going? Please let us know. We'd love to share it. Hi, Jay. How are you? Thank you for being here. Anna said, I had COVID in December, and on the carnivore, it was a walk in the park. So grateful. That is so awesome.
It's really interesting.
We had it in August of last year.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh.
No, I had it all the month of October. So yeah, It was probably September through October where we were all sick. I had it for 5 weeks straight.
Oh my gosh, it was so. I have my theories about that because Garrett had been carnivore for
2 months.
2 months when he got it, and I think that his immune system was a little bit low, because I think you have a drop in your immune system when your body is trying to heal itself. Yeah. And so he got it really bad, but it was pretty bad for me too, but it hung on to you.
I slept in the front room for weeks waiting for that to pass. It was bad news.
Was it painful chest?
Oh yeah.
Here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like I've had variations of it, but I'm so glad that it was easier for you.
Well, it's really interesting because one of the criticisms of the carnivore diet by those who either don't live it or don't do much research into it is that it's kind of marketed as a cure-all diet, and it does kind of sound too good to be true.
Yeah.
But those who actually do it realize pretty quickly that it's not too good to be true. And I'm not saying that it's going to heal everything that you have. I mean, it's not going to grow back an arm that you lost at some point. But as far as chronic illness, I mean, autoimmune disorders, you had a condition that you were told you could literally not cure.
Yeah.
And now you don't suffer from it anymore.
Yeah. If you're new to the community, I had hidradenitis suppurativa, which is an autoimmune, and typically an autoimmune, doctors will label it that because they don't know what it causes it, what's going on. There's no way to, for them to know what the underlying issue is. So it's where if you Google it, viewer discretion is advised because it's very scary looking. It starts small and then it gets really bad. And I was told that there's no cure. It just keeps progressing and progressing and progressing.
Well, luckily you didn't have it nearly as bad as others do.
I didn't yet have it bad. And I can't even imagine where it would be if I hadn't found carnivore when I did. So that was like one of my main reasons of starting it. And
Yeah.
I just have a scar now in one of my armpits it's pretty dark still. Like you would look at it and be like, why is that there? Like what happened there?
Kind of looks like a birthmark.
Does it?
Kind of.
Yeah, I guess it does. It's not crazy or anything, but it is that reminder. I tell Garrett all the time, someday, like, when we die and, come back as perfect humans or whatever, I hope that that scar is still there to remind me of that journey because it was so intense and like finding healing that I don't ever want to forget that, being able to think freely and find the information and it work for me and share it with others. It's just so rewarding. So I hope that's there
Yeah. Yeah.
forever. Hi, Cindy. My husband and I had COVID right after Thanksgiving. I also had strep throat. That was worse than COVID. Oof. Lingered on, had to get second round of antibiotics, finally feeling
I
great.
kind of wonder if I had something like that
It could have been strep. Maybe it like compounded on top of
because I was miserable. That was the worst.
that was one of the worst sicknesses we'd had in a long time. I'm so glad you're feeling better, Cindy, that COVID and then strep throat. I'm so
That's
sorry.
bad news.
I don't know if I've ever been diagnosed with strep throat. I probably had it, but I just don't know what the difference is between like COVID symptoms and strep throat symptoms because when we thought we had COVID, it was like intense pain in our chest and our throat,
Mhm.
like to the point where when you would breathe, it was hard to, yeah, that's why you slept in the other room.
Yeah.
It was so
Well, and
difficult.
just the incessant coughing all night.
Uh,
Glad that's over.
Cindy, were you carnivore at that time? Did you experience maybe less symptoms because you were carnivore? I don't know what your timeline was. I can't remember. So please let me know. I'm very curious if you had a better experience than you have had in the past. Yeah, the body takes energy to heal as well. I can sympathize with Garrett. I was almost dying with COVID before. On the carnivore, it was 85% better, which is a miracle. Yay! That's such a great testimony to the carnivore diet. Um, and I hope everyone knows that we are advocates for meat based in general. So if you can be keto and kind of progress over time, that's probably the best option for most people. But if keto is all you want to do because it makes you happy and that's where you like to sit, then that's awesome too. Like we say carnivore, but in general, we're referring to meat-based eating. And so any amount, if you're adding in more meat, that's better. So I just wanted to share that with anyone who might be new here. Uh, but I'm so glad that you are experiencing, sounds weird, but like better sickness. Your sickness is not as bad, right? Which is great. That's so awesome.
Easier sickness.
Easier sickness. That's better. um, it's so amazing just how healing this way of eating has been for so many. I am hoping to get rid of my eczema.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. Take before photos. That's something that was hard for you.
Even if you're embarrassed to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to show them to anybody except for
No.
yourself.
Yep.
But I'm battling eczema after 16 years. So it actually at the beginning of January it flared.
Mm.
And then yesterday or 2 days ago, it just kind of started leaving. So I don't know if I've gotten accustomed to something or something that I've cut out isn't bothering me anymore. So I'm just gonna have to keep going with what I'm doing.
Yeah, Garrett's story with eczema is a pretty I mean, I'm used to it because I've been married to him for 10 years and he was my first and my last
Hopefully your
male
last.
experience. What am I saying? Anyway, um so it's always been kind of normal to me, but his whole body, everything that's covered by clothing is covered in eczema. And so like 70% coverage. So you want to tell them about the doctor's situation and like the amount of studies and
Mm. Yeah. So I started developing eczema when I was 14. Um, Started on my thighs and just thought it was a rash of some kind. And then it just started spreading. And pretty much, and like Haley said, pretty much anywhere where clothing touches me is irritated. I do have some places like under my arms here that don't touch clothing, but I still have it. Um, but for the most part, I'm between 70 and 80% covered in eczema. So that was probably the main goal, starting carnivore, besides losing weight and just getting healthier in general.
well, and you
But
were kind of an anomaly to a lot of doctors. Like when there were studies on like a new cream or
mhm.
something, those doctors would call Garrett and say, "Do you want to be a part of this study?" Because he was just like pe- doctors weren't used to seeing somebody covered in so much eczema and not really nothing that they threw at it would fix it.
Yeah, I didn't have asthma too, so a lot of eczema sufferers will also have asthma. So I never had asthma. But yeah, I was part of at least 3 different clinical trials. 2 were topical, and 1 was a pill by mouth. None of them really helped, honestly. And I had been to at least between 3 and 5 dermatologists, and all they could do was prescribe me steroid creams, which I didn't want to live my life on steroids.
Well, if you've seen the effects of people who use steroid creams long term and then stop them,
Yeah.
it's intense. Like their skin just like flares like crazy. It's dry and irritated because your body gets used to it. It's like a coping mechanism for your body.
Well, then the treatment is like for that is to go on a no moisture treatment whatsoever, and you just have to let your skin just get used to not having it, and it looks horrible.
Yeah.
And I do not want that.
Yeah.
So seems to be my eczema is improving greatly. As far as maintenance goes, I'm about 75% better. I still have some spots that act up and kind of become itchy. But as far as where I was before July of last year, it's not even close.
Yeah. It's just been such a huge difference. Um, so let's see. Hi, Christy. How are you? Thank you for joining us. We're so happy to see you here. Christy's so supportive. Cindy, I am more ketovore, rarely get even a cold. COVID along with strep at the same time was tough. Ugh, I bet. That is so awesome that you're ketovore. Ketovore is like keto, but you're more meat based, more animal based. So you would maybe have more meat on your plate than you would like vegetables. And so that's what Cindy is referring to. Feeling good on the carnivore is so addictive. It's addictive to feel good. I like that. Can't wait to be up and running and enjoy life again. I'm looking forward to that for you, Anna. That's awesome. And I like that saying, feeling good on carnivore is addictive because it is.
It is.
You
Yeah.
kind of recognize how your body feels when you're not doing it. And it's kind of hard because you're like, man, I can never go back. Once you know better, you're wanting to do better because you just feel better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Susan said, I'm doing great on beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Maybe a chicken breast a couple of times. No coffee or sweeteners anymore. And of course, no dairy or cheese. The bathroom visit is back to normal every few days. LOL.
Yeah, when you
Yes.
started lying, that's something we noticed almost right off the bat. And I actually think a lot of my improvement in my skin is due to me avoiding dairy almost completely. So if you're trying to get rid of eczema, try to cut that out first. Is the dairy, so the cheese and the milk and everything like that.
Yeah, that's what started helping you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, Anna. um, Tiffany is saying, I hope that means it's on its way out, your eczema.
I hope so
I think
too.
that's what
Yeah,
she's
but
referring
it
to.
definitely feels like it is. So
That's so rough. Mine is mostly contact dermatitis situation. Soaps and chemicals trigger it. Have you tried any tallow lotions on it?
Just straight beef tallow, honestly, is what I use.
The South Chicago packaging, it's a black label. That's the one that we use. It's whipped and it's really, really smooth on your skin. And I actually only use that and water on my face. I don't wear makeup. And so um, I will put Vaseline over that at night to kind of, it's called
Yeah.
slugging. You've done that with your eczema too.
Oh yeah.
You
And
kind of lock in the moisture and it's so good. It's awesome.
at the beginning of the month, I had a few trouble spots that I did exactly that, and just put some tallow on and let that soak in and put some Vaseline over the top. And by the next morning, those spots were almost completely gone. So I can attest to that.
Yeah. Anna's asking, oh wow, so how is your eczema now?
Much better. Much better. It's still visible in most of those parts, but it's very light. It doesn't raise anymore or flake or really even itch. So it's mostly just cosmetic at this point.
Yeah, it's still visible, but like I would say it's a 60% less visible
Yeah.
than it was. It used to get really dark and itchy and all of that
And
stuff.
flaky. There was a few spots
Oh,
on my calves where you'd pick
I'm a
at.
I'm a picker. Like it just brings me joy. I love to watch Dr. Pimple Popper. And so I would like pick the flaky pieces of skin that were like obviously coming off. That sounds so gross, but it was like so satisfying. I still feel like that. I'm gonna have to mourn the not having. I'll pick something else. Okay. Ellie's right. Have you told Garrett about castor oil? So she has, I can't remember what you have, Ellie. She has a skin condition on her face.
Mm.
I don't know if it's acne or something else. Please correct me. But she used castor oil.
I keep hearing about castor oil.
And like her before and after is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. So yes, we need to try castor oil. That's a great idea. Thank you for reminding me.
You're like person number 3 that's told me about that.
Yes.
So I may just need to break down and grab some.
I'm confident you'll get to 100% healed.
There are days where I'm a bit impatient.
Yeah.
I will say.
He'll have low days, having had this for so many years. It's like, oh, because, we'll see stories of people who've been carnivore for a year and 6 months.
Yeah, or
6
even less.
months, and they'll have had worse skin conditions than Garrett, but they'll be like completely healed. And Garrett's like, what is taking so long for me? That is so hard. It's hard to be patient when you see other people like ahead of you. But like no one's ahead of anybody else. We've all been duped as far as the food pyramid goes. And we're all just doing our best to overcome carb addiction, to, learn how our ancestors ate, how we can feel our best. Each of us has a different genetic makeup and biological makeup. Like his ancestors came from somewhere else than I did. And that all plays a role in the sicknesses you get and in your overall well-being eating certain foods. Like some people can't eat shrimp. I struggle with shrimp.
I love shrimp.
He loves shrimp. So that's just an example. But Anna is asking, what's the difference between psoriasis and eczema?
Ooh, I think at the core of it is what causes the condition. I mean, they're both autoimmune. I think they manifest differently. So eczema has more varieties to it than psoriasis does. Psoriasis, if you were to see psoriasis, you would know exactly what it is. So raised, a large patchy skin that's kind of a lightish pink color. I have cousins that have psoriasis. But eczema comes in a multitude of different forms.
Garrett's isn't raised.
No, I had a few raised spots, but they were no larger than maybe a quarter. Psoriasis, you'll have patches of skin that are extremely large.
Yeah.
So if I were to compare mine, it would probably look like leopard spots would be the best way to describe it. Whereas
they're bigger though.
Yeah,
larger patches, not like little leopard spots, but like larger pieces. If he's courageous enough, and not that you're not courageous, but it is an intimate thing to like share when you have an autoimmune issue. And so we did take before photos of some of the eczema, and if he makes enough progress to feel comfortable to share, maybe that'll be something that you can do in the future.
if I have satisfactory after photos, I will have no problem sharing my before photos.
Yeah, it's been a long road, and so I'm going to respect that, but maybe it'll be something that we can share fully for you guys
Down the road.
down the road. Yep, you're still on that journey. Yeah. Okay. Cindy is referring to her ketovore lifestyle, rarely vegetables at all, but do use keto chow and do my own baking. What do you bake, Cindy? Please tell me. Before we were carnivore, I would bake all the time. Very much a sweet tooth person. And don't talk about the frosting. That's what you're thinking,
You
isn't
love
it?
baking so much that you would forget to make the cake and just make the frosting.
It's true. I would just eat frosting. Okay, look, it was a really stressful time in our lives,
That's
and
true,
that's
yeah.
how I
It
would
was bad.
cope. Oh man. Okay. Tiffany's saying she's going to check out the company. I think South Chicago Packaging. It's on Amazon.
If you search tallow on Amazon, it'll be toward the top.
It's the black label, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and it lasts forever. We have one in the bathroom for skin use and everything, and then one in the kitchen for cooking.
Yep.
I would say
not mix those up.
No, don't mix. Don't mix them up. Put a label on it, or like a little skull with crossbones.
We took our label off in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we know which is which. Hi, Do Re Mi. I love your name. Thank you for being here. Does tallow clog your pores for us acne-prone people?
That's a good question. I
haven't been acne-prone.
No, I have been, but I'm trying to think if the tallow actually clogged my pores. I guess it could. I have some spots on my calves where I'm prone to get acne and maybe ingrown hairs. So I don't know if it was due to the tallow, but that's a good question.
I'm actually looking it up here right now because I've heard. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like, so the fatty acids in beef tallow are saturated in unsaturated fats. The fatty acids in tallow have been known to have beneficial properties for the skin, such as moisturizing, soothing, and nourishing it. So there was something that I read one time that said that beef tallow has a similar makeup to our skin, to our natural oils. So I would assume that straight beef tallow with no added fragrances or anything would be beneficial to someone with acne, because I know that you shouldn't let your acne dry out. You should still try to moisturize your skin, even though it feels like counterproductive because you're adding oil. But don't quote me on that. I don't know skincare very well, and I haven't ever had more acne, but maybe it's worth a try. And you could see, maybe you could do the slugging situation where you put the beef tallow on and then you put Vaseline over it to lock in the moisture overnight. And you could have to go through a detox period from your other skincare products potentially.
Yeah,
so
depending on what it is.
Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I'm so sorry. I wish I had more knowledge in that area. Oh, she said, I keep trying to use it at home, but I get tons of blackheads every time I do. Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I wish I had more knowledge.
Well, I wonder what beef tallow you're using too. Is it stuff that you make yourself or is it stuff that you buy?
I'm sorry you're dealing with that.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Pinky Jojo. Love that. I was trying carnivore, but have found myself at day 18 as really being more ketovore. And I'm fine with that. I get recurring I'm going to say this wrong, lichen planus, itchy like eczema, but looks more like psoriasis.
Yeah. There's a ton of skin conditions out there.
Oh man, so many of them. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. But how has that changed? Has it gotten any better in the 18 days? Have you kind of gone through a rough patch? We find that we go through that, whether it's oxalate dumping or what, but our bodies like flare up with the issues and then it goes away.
Well, even Dr. Kiltz on one of his recent videos was talking about keto rashes.
Oh, I think I saw that
where
briefly.
he talks about like you have different periods of oxalate dumping.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know if it was like an eczema flare up I was experiencing or oxalate dumping. I have no idea. And it's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. But ketovore is great. I'm so glad you found something that makes you happy that works for you.
Yeah.
I think, Nisha Salisbury, Nisha.
Yep. Dr. Brady's wife.
Yeah. She is like super happy being ketovore, and like, I just be happy. I want people to be happy and not feel restricted, even though technically we're restricting the standard American diet, but we're just eating what we're supposed to, right?
Well,
optimally.
That's kind of what we were talking about at the beginning. It's like, Nisha, using her as an example, she's responded to comments. It's like, I know the benefits of carnivore, but I'm just not willing to give up like onions. She loves onions. And it's like, if they don't bother you, who cares?
But she does cut out anything that bothers her.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Which is how it should go. You should just cut out the things that bother you.
Yep.
And you don't have to fit into anyone's box. You really don't. There's no rules. This is just life. This is just a journey. Don't feel like if someone comes after you for eating onions or comes after you for not following carnivore specifically, who cares?
Well, it's better to modify what you do for long-term benefit rather than be super strict and quit after a month.
Yeah. Yep. It's got to be sustainable. That's so important. I'm doing Lion for hormonal acne and I'm new to your channel.
Oh, glad you're here.
Thank you for being here. Yes. Lion for hormonal acne. Ooh, I can't wait to see your results and your journey. Please report back. We are here every Friday. And so I'd love to see you again and you can tell us how it's going. Lion is tough. I've been experiencing it. I don't know. Maybe it's not tough for you. I personally have kind of struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's see. Hannah. I'm going to try to catch up. When I was starting, the flakes were coming off my entire body for a few days, and I don't have any severe skin conditions. Oh, maybe your body was like shedding the outer layer.
One of the groups on Evil Facebook was saying that he was having the same thing like on his palms. Like he had skin coming off of his palms.
Huh.
Carnivore makes you shed your skin, I guess.
Crazy.
Like
I didn't
lizard?
know that. Like a lizard. Oh my gosh. Well, but doesn't Dr. Barry, he has a video where he talks about your skin
like kind of
rejuvenates every 3 months. Was it 3 months?
Something like that.
Where it replaces itself fully every 3 months.
Right.
And so he was saying like you have to try carnivore for 90 days at least. And so I think that's one of the reasons it comes from, the 90 days, do it for 90 days. Yeah. Because a lot of people have skin issues. And so you got to wait and see if your body can like fix itself. I think Garrett, he's been doing it for 7 months, almost 6.5 months.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And someone might say, well, he did this for a long time and it, hasn't healed itself. And the reality is that I think there's scar tissue that goes lower into your skin. And so it's just going to be a constant process of like waiting until.
Well, and I've been dealing with it for 16 years. So I would have been lucky if I reversed it in 6 months. Some people who I perceive as having worse eczema than me have reversed it in a shorter amount of time. But
yeah,
again, eczema is a blanket term. It covers a lot of different forms of dermatitis. So yeah, they may have cleared it up faster than me, but maybe I have a more deep-seated issue than they did. I don't know.
I heard that it was that eczema is linked to your gut microbiome.
Yeah.
And so it might take longer to heal the layers of your gut microbiome too. So don't get discouraged if you have acne or rosacea or psoriasis or eczema or hidradenitis suppurativa, which was also an autoimmune skin issue.
Yeah. Yep.
So don't lose hope. Ellie was saying that she has rosacea. 8 months on carnivore, my face only got like 30% better. Castor oil has healed it almost 80% in a few days.
All right.
All right, we're going to try it now. It's time. So I do too, Haley. I would squeeze bumps on my husband's back and face. He loved it.
I hated it.
He hates it.
It hurts.
Oh my gosh.
But it was fun for her.
It was so fun. And because he loves me, he lets me. But oh, Deb is saying that she's allergic to shrimp. So when we were talking about that, I didn't have a reaction to shrimp until after I was carnivore for a bit, and then I introduced it back in.
It's because I cooked it.
No, it's not because of that. My stomach, every time I say shrimp or think about shrimp, my stomach gets a little queasy. So to me, it's like, no, that's an obvious no. And I probably haven't had a reaction to food, any other food that's that obvious.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's not going to go in my mouth. No, thank you. I have rosacea, acne, and keratosis pilaris. I probably misspelled that. Okay, I've heard of that. Keratosis pilaris, because when I was trying to figure out what skin condition I had, that was the HS, I looked into that as well. I'm so sorry, Ellie. Ellie's made so much progress. You guys go to her channel. She has such a wonderful story, and she's such a wonderful person. If you haven't followed her, you should. Oh, Susan. My husband died almost 22 years ago. He's with Jesus. That's right. He is with Jesus. You are so supportive on the channel. You always pray for us, and you're so kind and sweet, and you'll absolutely see him again. Oh. Cindy. Oh, she's saying what she bakes.
I made a crustless keto cheesecake once.
Oh my gosh.
It was one of the best things I've ever eaten.
We
I wouldn't even go
love
back to
it.
regular cheesecake. It's like a they call it a burnt Basque cheesecake. The best.
Well, it kind of creates a crust.
Yeah, because it caramelizes.
It caramelizes, and it's so delicious. We need to make a video about that one.
We will.
It's so good.
After January.
Oh, talking to Cindy, I was clean keto 5 years before going carnivore in June. I've made lots of delicious keto recipes. Yes. I made a really good keto coffee cake for New Year's. It was delicious. I do think almonds bother me a little bit, though. It was an almond flour base, but it was so good. The kids loved it. They want it for their birthdays now, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Chafee uses plain tallow as a face and body moisturizer.
Yep.
Yes, we love it. I also use it as a Desitin cream, diaper cream for our baby. And it seems to work really well.
And you would think that you would smell like steak all the time, and you really don't.
No, it doesn't even, well, the whipped stuff doesn't even smell a whole lot like it. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe your homemade stuff will.
Yeah, your homemade stuff will smell like that. But let's see.
Lots of comments.
Oh, this is interesting. Vaseline is gasoline, use castor oil. Okay. See, I'm learning something new every day. I'm going to look into that because I had no idea. And so I would love to look into that more and maybe switch over to castor oil. Thank you so much for saying that. Never had eczema, but as the oxalates dumping was taking place, I got something eczema like in one spot. Oh, I've seen a lot of people experience that where
it could be like the keto rash.
The keto rash, yeah, where you just like kind of break out somewhere. I know a lot of people will like on their neck. I do on my chest. When?
I thought when we started, you had a rash pop up in a weird spot. Maybe not.
I don't know. I do get like a rash under my breasts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because they're rubbing on my skin. It's like just the spot where I get this rash. And it seems to have gone away only, there's like something floating in there right there. It seems to have gone away only since going carnivore, really.
Yeah.
So, if you have random rashes in places, I think that meat-based eating could definitely help you. And yeah, if you experience rashes that you haven't had before, that's normal when you're transitioning to this because your body is like freaking out and trying to release the toxins and the things that your body holds onto, and there's no way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to keep track of my own lion/carnivore journey and make a video over on my channel as well. I've been watching so many other people's videos. It will be fun to go show my results. Ooh,
Do
I
it.
can't wait.
Do it.
Yes. I can't wait to see your results. That's so exciting. Please do keep track so that everyone can kind of see. The more people that share their stories, the more that this will get out there and more people will give it a shot, because sometimes these little channels seem like these out there people. I used to think that people who did carnivore were totally out there and
I did too.
ridiculous, and that's not healthy. There's no way, without even looking into it. So let's get the message out there. Let's share our stories. Cindy as well, guys. Cindy tells her story on her channel as well. So if you need some support and encouragement,
Yep.
go look at those. I have Dr. Anthony Chaffee's phrase, plants are trying to kill you, stuck in my head. So now all I think about um, are the oxalates and all the veggies. So I'm so interested how I'm doing after 90 days. I am too. I love it when people start out fresh and we
Hmm.
get to kind of just like
Yeah.
follow along. I feel like I'm blabbing. Do you want to read
No.
the next one?
Yeah.
Here.
Dr. Chafee has two lectures. Plants are trying to kill you. One, I think, was at a KetoCon, and the other he just has on his channel.
Yeah.
And how he says that phrase is like, plants are trying to kill you.
Plants are trying
And
to kill
I say
you.
that to Haley on
He
multiple
does.
occasions.
He
Yeah.
does.
So Tiffany says, someday I may want to add some onions and peppers here.
Here and
And
there.
there.
Though
So,
after the 90 days.
okay.
Do you need help?
I can't see, I guess.
We'll see how it goes. That's awesome. That's fine. Like I love onions, and I'm planning on reintroducing onions. Like that's not something that I'm afraid to say. And I think that they add a ton of flavor to a lot of people's food. But if you can't eat it or it bothers you, then it's probably best to cut it out. If it doesn't bother you,
Who
then
cares?
eat it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Christy is saying, Ellie is looking great. That castor oil is really helping. She is. She is looking fantastic. Let's see. What does go through your mind when people eat regular food? I'm watching Love is Blind Sweden, and they
So
eat there all the time. Lots of desserts.
we were in Costco the other day,
Yeah.
and we were with our
Oh.
kids.
Mhm.
And
Our second.
yeah, so our second child looked around, and then she looked at us and she said, a lot of these people have really unhealthy food in their carts. And
I
we're
think
like, you
she
know
used the
what?
word junk food.
Yeah, or yeah, something like
Something
that.
like
It's like,
that.
yeah, they do. But
And
then I said,
yeah.
we've all been raised to have different ideas of food, and it's just how it is. But she recognized it. So
Yeah, she's 6. So we're really proud of her for that. What goes through our mind is I just feel like a little bit sad. I mean, I try not to take on other people's problems, but I just see a lot of unhealthy people, and I used to be very much one of them. But at the same time, I know everyone is trying to do the best that they know how to do. It really depends on how you were raised and how much effort you put into learning new things and having a free thinking mind, and so many things. I mean, our experience even um being raised in Mormonism and with the word of wisdom, like that, I would consider us very intelligent people, right? But that kind of,
hopefully,
I mean, I think so. I don't know. That's how the jury's out on that. But we, because of that mindset that we were raised with, we didn't think freely. We didn't look into the science and the what our ancestors did, and make it make sense. Like we just kind of followed it to follow it. And so I get it. I get where people are coming from. I know why it's hard. And you're also, dealing with a lot of people who have carb addiction. Everyone does, I think.
yeah.
Every modern person is going to be raised most probably with carb addiction, unless your parents were carnivore, or meat-based in general. So I love Love is Blind, by the way. I just watched I think the US version recently. I finished it. So, oh, responding to Anna, especially when people have conditions that carnivore would fix. It's hard not to overwhelm them with info.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's so hard. Finding that boundary. Because, like, you don't want to offend anybody either, but sometimes I wish somebody would have shaken me like, look, I can fix you.
Well, and it's like,
did that bother you?
I just wasn't expecting that. Well, it's like the three things that you can't really talk to people about is politics, religion, and nutrition.
Oh yeah, because they're all religion.
Right. Because
they're all a religion.
Everybody has their immovable opinions about those three things.
Yeah.
So
it's been really cool to experience things differently, because we weren't always like that. We had our specific things that we believed in. No one could tell us otherwise. And it's really different now.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
My daughter was telling me the other day about rubbing castor oil on certain places in your body, and it is very therapeutic. I can't remember what else she told me. Oh, interesting. I've heard about like castor oil packs that will like relieve muscle pain and sickness even. I don't know if it goes that far. I'm sure people have experiences where it does. So anyway, yeah, that's interesting. You're going to try that. I think we should do that. Tiffany's so funny. Yes, the phrase "in his tongue" lives rent free in my head.
Every time I'm tempted to eat a plant, that's what replays in my brain. Great lecture, by the way, if you ever have a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
I think he has like a long one, like a super long one and a super short one.
Yeah.
So
such a great resource. So she was saying sorry for all the typos because no, it wasn't you.
No, it's reading is hard. Reading
is hard. It's been a really long day, guys. Like so long. Susan said, that's so great that your daughter has a great mindset of the proper human diet.
They do. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I had a comment on one of our Lioness Lifestyle Live videos, I think, because we were talking about like, because I have trauma related to food from growing up, experiences with food, being told certain foods are bad and certain foods are good. And then it ended up being that those weren't good, foods. And so I'm just raising young children to be healthy, but not give them trauma, right? Because you don't want them to carry that with them. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm trying to figure out that balance where it's like, hey, I want you to experience life and not feel restricted, but I also want you to be really, really healthy and live a long, long life. That's the point. So someone was making a comment like, you guys, you should just pave the way for your kids and teach them, how to do this, and that's it, and not question it. And I kind of agree with that too.
I could see that.
It's just so hard to know what to do because you don't want to create a bad relationship with food for your kids. I don't know if I'm making sense.
I think one day though, when your child does have the opportunity to make their own choice when it comes to food, they're going to realize just why you raised them the way that you did. I don't know. That's kind of my thought. I
know it'll all work out in the end. I'm just concerned. Like, I'm a concerned mom. I'm trying to, not make a big mistake. But I know it's the right food to eat. I just don't want to create this really negative association with carnivore because I restricted them so much when they were young. Like that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
I think even they would admit, though, that they're doing a lot better eating this way than they were before.
I think so. They're kind of young to like make an idea in their head that like, oh, it's better now than it was.
Maybe.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know. Every time I go to Costco to buy meat, I'm getting strange comments from cashiers like, oh, rich people's food.
Well, but it helps when you don't have to buy anything else.
Dude, chips and cereal and the candy and the bread, all of that's expensive. Like,
Although I do wish steak was as cheap as a 20-pound bag of rice was. That would be nice. But then again, you don't have to eat as much steak to get full as you do rice.
yeah, that's true. I mean, and it simplifies everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Cleanup is simpler. Planning meals is simpler. The kids have their specific meals that they like and they ask for.
Yep.
Our daughter learned how to cook bacon and eggs, and she's like fantastic at it, to the point that she makes better scrambled eggs than I do. Like, our other child is like, no, I don't want you to make it. I want my sister to make it.
It's like my eggs are like buttery and creamy and just beautiful. And then my oldest daughter makes them, and I'm not trashing on her because it's just different style, but they're chunky and
Dude, but our other kids like them more.
and they eat them. They won't eat mine.
I love good buttered eggs. Garrett's buttered eggs are fantastic. So I eat those.
That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah. Your daughter is super observant.
Yep.
She is. Have a great night, everyone. Gotta go. Bye, Cindy. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Paula, hi. I don't know if you've been on before. I don't recognize your name, so thank you for being here. Welcome to our date night. Several nights a week, my adult daughter and I watch the Great British Baking Show. It presents a fascinating challenge to watch people bake enticing desserts while I'm fighting my sugar addiction.
We
Okay.
still watch it.
Okay. We still watch it too. And I've literally said this to Garrett. Like, ooh, I don't know if we should be watching this. Like, I'm struggling. It causes me to like salivate. It turns on my carb craving.
Yeah.
And I won't have it otherwise.
Yep.
So I totally feel you. And thank you for sharing that. Great British Baking Show is awesome.
It's still great television.
It is. It's fantastic. But just like snack on some bacon while you're watching, maybe.
That'll do it. Yep.
And maybe that'll help. Lulu Cattywampus. Wow, that's a fun name. Cattywampus. Good morning from Malaysia. Wow, found you through the algorithm. Just recently fell off the wagon from carnivore during the holidays, and it has made me have lots of inflammation with my lupus.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you're struggling with lupus. And that's so common to, fall off the wagon during the holidays. I don't like to use that term necessarily because it's just a journey for you. Like,
Yeah.
you're living your life, you're enjoying the holidays, and then you're going to, get back on the wagon and you're going to be healthy and feel good again. And like, those times I think are good learning experiences where we can like reset and be like, hey, what am I going to do next year? Am I going to do the same thing? Which is fine if that's what you choose to do. But for me, it was like, I need to adjust because I didn't feel very good after the holidays and I had like keto food, so that's totally normal.
Especially Thanksgiving.
I'm so sorry that you're struggling with lupus, and I hope that you hang out with us in our community and ask questions and try to get support. We'll cheer you on. I'm so proud of you for, getting back on it and trying to feel better again. That's the goal, right?
Also, the algorithm is working.
I mean, I guess we're finding the people that want to hang out and share their stories with us. And that's awesome. And then she said, you have motivated me to get back on it. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. That is something that you guys motivate us too. Mm-hmm. Like, you just saying that is like, okay, Hayley, like, you got this. We got this. And even though we still crave things occasionally or feel like we could be doing better, like more strict, you saying that motivates me to just keep one step in front of the other, right? One day, one meal at a time, one change at a time. So I'm very proud of you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I think those are kissy faces. Thank you, Anna. I think she's saying goodbye tonight. Have a good night, guys. So nice to see you again. Nice to see you too, Anna. Thank you for joining us as usual. We always appreciate you. But have a good night. We'll see ya. Yeah, I need to stop looking at non-carnivores recipes on Pinterest at
It's
night.
dangerous. And
It's
then
a
you
habit.
you look at those recipes and you're like, I wonder if I can make that carnivore, knowing fully well that you can't.
Yeah. That's so true. I do like to go through and like look at keto recipes for like birthday cakes or cupcakes or things like that, and see what's out there. But then, it's hard because you only want to have it during an occasion like an actual birthday. So I feel you there. I have to stay off Pinterest most of the time. Uh, Lulu, stay in the carnivore community. You got this. Thank you, Susan. Thanks for encouraging. That is so awesome. And we love this community because of that, because you guys are so supportive and encouraging to especially people who are struggling or new, or need that support. So thank you. Hopefully your daughters will remember those eggs when they're older. I miss things now that my father made that at the time I didn't really appreciate.
I'm going to tell them that so they
Oh,
appreciate it.
no, don't tell them. They're so little. They will, yeah. I was like that too with like my mom's cooking. I didn't appreciate certain things. Like my mom made a mean liver and onions.
Now we just eat liver.
And now we just eat liver. But it was good. And so, yeah, I didn't appreciate it at the time. Oh, Anna's back for a minute. When I see people eat plants, I'm wondering how their diet affects their health. Yeah, I do too.
Well, that's something that we talk about a lot, actually, is how often do we cough up or chalk up chronic illness to just being chronic illness and not diet related. And
or your genes or something.
Yeah, or genetics or.
Yeah. And we've talked about that a lot, actually, about how, like, I made a video about how your body is working for you, not against you. It's not your body, if anything, has been keeping you alive and keeping you experiencing your life through everything that you're putting it through, literally, without knowing any better, of course. But it's like our bodies are like, no, I'm going to keep you here and I'm going to keep you alive till the very bitter end.
Yeah.
And so now that we're giving our bodies what it needs, it's giving us what we need, which is health and happiness and what's it called? Vitality.
Yeah.
Right. There's only so much you can do with recipes.
I keep hoping that a birthday cake carnivore recipe will pop up sometime.
Well, Courtney Luna, if I don't know if you follow her on Instagram, she has a cookbook coming out that's carnivore. I'm totally buying it. Just a little plug for her. She's so awesome. And let's see, what was I talking about? Oh, she makes a carnivore like cake. It's like tiny thin pancakes, like crepes almost. And then she does like a whipped cream. And then the pancake, it's a carnivore pancake, but it looks so good. I want to try it.
I mean, they made cereal carnivore.
Okay. Sorry. I am so excited. I haven't tried it because I probably should. I'm trying to stay away from like milk in like a raw form. Even I just use whipping cream or heavy cream. But our kids
They adore it.
Love pork rind cereal.
Crazy.
If you have children or grandchildren or anything, try it. I crumble up the larger pork rinds into like bite-sized pieces about this big. And then I sprinkle some cinnamon on it and put the milk in, no sweetener, no nothing. And they love it. So I wasn't expecting that, but everyone was raving about it.
You wouldn't think that it would taste good.
I haven't tried it personally, but like my kids, who I'm pretty sure are a little bit picky, they beg for it. They ask for it for dessert. They ask for it for breakfast and lunch and dinner. So try it. Like, give it a try. Maybe you'll like it and it'll be like a little treat. Thank you, Susan. I'm motivated for sure. And thank you to all of you for the support. Garrett and Hayley, you both have lovely, comforting voices. Oh, thank you for saying that.
I really try.
I sometimes get tired of hearing myself talk.
You shouldn't. No.
That was so nice of you to say that. Thank you. We are so excited you're part of our community, and please keep us updated. We'd love to know how it's going. Even if you're struggling, like, tell us. Nobody is perfect. And I think a lot of times people on the internet try to put on a face that they've got it all together when in reality, none of us do.
They don't.
So
I don't either. I'm going to read this one.
Okay. I'm just like waiting for you to jump in.
It says, "You're welcome, Lulu. The carnivore community is the best." Nailed it.
You nailed it. High five, man. Yes.
I can read.
I can read. Oh. The Great British Baking Show is superlative television. Ooh, I like that word.
It is.
Superlative. I'm not good at that. We laugh and cry every time we watch it. We always watch. You read it right here, from right here.
We always watch during dinner, so I feel satiated. I always think about how sugar gives me terrible headaches. I think that's why I was getting headaches.
Yeah.
Because you are halfway through. I just love it when Noel says that.
We always laugh at Noel for saying "fru." Fru.
It's one of my favorite shows.
It is. It's so good. That's hilarious. It is such good television. I love it. It's calming and relaxing and like so wholesome. Our kids like to watch the kid version.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Oh my gosh. Garrett does good impressions, you guys. You're thinking of one right now, aren't you?
No.
Yeah, you are. Oh my gosh.
It is great television. And even though we don't partake in those desserts, they look wonderful.
They do. There's some British, most of the British desserts though, like have a ton of dried berries and nuts in them. And I'm like, I don't know about this. Like if you're from Great Britain or UK area, like what is it with all the dried fruit and nuts? And like everything. Oh, Susan's laughing at us. Thank you for laughing at us or with us, whichever. Okay, Paula's asking if there's a kids version. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you watch it on Netflix? Because it's on Netflix.
It is a Netflix show.
What's it called? The Great British Baking Show.
I think it's kids.
I thought it had
or like Junior. It's Junior.
It might be Junior.
Something like that.
But yeah, it's so cute. The kids love to watch it. And it helps them feel better because like when our oldest daughter was learning to make the eggs and bacon, she made some mistakes and like made a mess and she felt really bad. But then we watched that show.
That was my fault.
It's okay. It's okay. He let her know that it was his fault, but she still felt bad and was embarrassed. But then we watched that show and the kids were messing up and burning things and and like it's such a cute show though. And so it made them feel better that like no one's perfect and I can make mistakes and it's okay.
Our oldest was making eggs and as she was about to pour the bowl into the pan, I said, "Oh, hey," and I called her name, which means she pulled back thinking that she was doing something wrong, but she had poured some of it and it missed the pan and it went in between the stove and the counter.
And the counter, it was like dripped all the way down
I had
the
to
inside.
pull the stove out and clean it all.
Oh,
so we'll never do that again.
Oh, hi, Arlene. How are you? Thanks for joining us. So good to see you. Paula's saying fruitcakes are so popular there. I haven't tried one though. Like I can't bash it until I try it. Like I haven't.
I have.
You've tried fruitcake?
That's also a popular thing in South America during the holidays.
Oh, right. Okay.
Except they're big. They're like big. They're like cylinders and they have dried fruit in them. All right.
Okay.
It's not like, I don't think it's the heavy fruit cakes like they make in Britain, but they're pretty similar.
Like the ones people joke that like.
Yeah, they're bricks.
They're bricks. Garrett served a 2-year mission for the church we grew up in Argentina. And so he experienced a different culture there.
Best meat on the planet.
Yeah.
In Argentina.
We need to go.
I keep telling Hayley that we need to go back so we can experience Argentine barbecue.
Oh my gosh. I would love that. You guys are so cute together. I'm just kidding. We are so, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Arlene. That was very nice.
She thinks I do a good British accent. I think so too.
I think you do a great one.
On your marks, get set, bake. I love that show. We watch it.
We need to
so
just rewatch
much.
episodes. I'm so sad that we watched it all the way through. Like they need new episodes. Jeez.
We go through the seasons too quickly.
Yeah, we do. We binge Great British Baking Show. You're in good company, Paula.
Indian curries have fruit and nuts in them. Yeah, actually.
We have a curry or Indian place here.
Yeah, so where we lived before, where I went to school, and then here we have some pretty great Indian restaurants. And I remember having
so good,
some kind of butter chicken, or it was something, and it had cashews in it. And apparently that's really common in Indian food.
Delicious though.
Cashews and raisins, like golden raisins.
Yeah.
Not a fan of those, but I will eat cashews. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun show.
16-month-old granddaughter, and when they start letting her watch TV, I'll introduce her to the kids version. It's so wholesome. It's so wholesome, and the kids are so cute with their little accents. I love it. It's adorable. They sound so like regal and like
proper,
older than me. Oh my gosh, you're a genius actor. You sound exactly like Noel. I love it.
I keep telling Hayley I need to try out for film.
You know what? He would do good. What would your dream acting role be?
Oh, I don't know.
Coming back to that next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you that next week. You better have an answer ready.
Probably like a moody like no nonsense, doesn't follow the rules protagonist in a sci-fi film would be my.
Would you have a 6-pack?
Absolutely. So I got to get there first.
Okay, on that note, it is the end of date night. Thanks for being here, guys. That was fun. I feel like I got some good energy out in this live. What?
It was a lot of fun.
Why are you looking at me like that?
It was fun. I had a good time.
Good.
It's nice to end it like this.
It is. You guys are awesome. And that was exciting. I feel like I met some new people. We got some new members of our community and people who are starting new on their health journey. And I'm so excited for those of you who are brand new and for those of you who are doing great and for those of you who might be struggling. It can be hard sometimes. We live in a different environment than our ancestors did. And so just know that the struggle is normal because we're being exposed to it every day.
Yep.
Let's see. Susan is saying, love y'all. We love you guys too. Thank you for being here. Bye, guys. Have a lovely weekend. You too. And I hope you update us on your progress. You asked earlier if I'm new. I've watched you several times, but never commented. I had a blast.
Well, we're glad you interacted because that created a lot of fun for us.
Yes. And now we'll recognize you when you do comment.
Yep.
Nice to connect with you guys. You too, Tiffany. Let us know how it goes when you start on February 1st. We're excited for you. And I hope you enjoy that Christmas dinner on the 26th.
I would. It sounds good.
Arlene said thank you. Of course. We love being on here with you guys. Thanks for keeping me company while I cleaned my oven. Ready for more meat.
We need to do that so badly.
Okay, we really do. And then come back again, Paula. Please do. We'd love to see you again here in the community. And thanks for supporting Susan. We really appreciate that. Okay, guys. We will see you in our next video and next Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yep.
Our cholesterol is fine.
We'll see you next time.